What's up? How's it going? There's a microphone in my hand and I don't know what I'm wearing. Don't worry about that. Don't pay no attention to it. This isn't even plugged up. Um, Basically, what I want to talk about today is Diabolik Lovers, the anime. It's basically my initial impressions, like an initial review of the series. And I'll be frank, I know a lot of people don't like this series. I I'm holding off judgment actually, because basically the premise of the series is very stupid to me. It's not super stupid, but if it was a hentai, it would make perfect sense. It's not a hentai, and so far they haven't been just raping her. But it's basically, if it was a real life scenario, it would be as if somebody was like, "Hey, daughter, go live at this house with a bunch of rapists. And they're gonna rape you every day." But that's not what's happening in this. I just said it to make it the worst possible thing it could be, so that your hopes will be low if you go into it. But that's not the case. Here's the story. It'll bring it up some. See, in comparison, it'll sound a little bit better now. But the story is basically this: girl is sent to go to a school. She goes to one of the boarding houses. There's nothing but vampires there, and that's the story. Nothing. It's 4 episodes in, and nothing's happened yet. Nothing significant. Nothing that couldn't have been in the first episode, which, by the way, are 15 minutes. It's 15 minutes. Why? Why is it 15 minutes? You're not like one of those. Yeah, whatever. There's a lot of 15-minute stuff. Not anime, but yeah. Anyway, so she goes to the boarding house. There's vampires there. They basically say, "Hey, look, you're our slave. You got to do whatever we want you to do, and you have no say in it. Whether you like it or not. If you try to run, we'll kill you." Great start to a series, isn't it? Not really. So that's basically it. Now, from my perspective, watching the intro and the first episode, I put it together that, hey, I haven't heard nothing about this series, but I assume whoever sent her there sent her for, some vampire that's living there. That's not one of the boys. Like the woman vampire that's there, probably, if it's a woman vampire that's alive there. But that's the first thing I thought when I saw the opening and the first episode. It's the first idea that popped in my head. Hey, she's probably there for this chick in the intro, but that chick's not there right now or something. Something along those lines. She's there for her. That's what I was assuming just from the first episode. Then 3 other episodes go along. Nothing really happens except you just realize that, she's basically their slave to her plaything. I would say, did I spit? Yeah. I would say they're sex slave, but they're not actually raping her yet. But, they basically bite her. So if to a vampire, biting is like having sex. She's just their sex slave and they do what they want to with her. The one guy took her at school. The other guy just took her in the bathtub. And then the one guy just, was on the roof. So it's like she's just basically against her will being held hostage. And like I said, if it was a hentai, you watch a hentai, you expect that. That's basically the plot of every hentai. But that's not what this is. It's not really etchy neither. So it's like, who are you marketing to? The stupid girls who like, "Oh man, I wish a whole bunch of vampires would just take me now." I mean, it's not like a plot to it. It's not a story to it. It's not sexual. It's just, hey, you're here. We're doing what we want to with you. We own your body now. You are ours. You're our slave. And I just can't get into that much. But one thing I will credit it. The 15-minute episodes really do help it out. Because most of the episodes, I wouldn't watch the whole time. I would stop. But on account of the episodes are shorter, like really, it amounts to about 11 minutes. Because of that, I can watch these series. And I'm just watching it to see what develops. Because normally, something would develop. I assumed, after the first bite, she's there for the other woman. There's something in her blood. She knows something, but they're drawing it out so slowly because you only got 15 episodes. I mean, not 15 episodes, 15-minute episodes. And to me, these episodes still go on slowly. It's not like they're fast. It seems like a full-length episode, even though it's not. And that says something. It's just not that interesting. The art style is great. I like the way it's drawn. The story is crap. I mean, there might be a good story somewhere in there. There may be logic to it. Because I'm thinking, hey, okay, if you think about it literally, or think about it logically, the story is, it's a house of vampires. They're vampires. They act like jerks. That's how those vampires act. They're vampires. Okay, makes sense. And then, okay, you toss the girl into it. Okay, this is how these jerks act. These vampires are jerks, literally. And this is how they would act if you throw some food to them. So you're watching it like, okay, that's how they would react. So I can't knock it a bunch for that. But what I am knocking it for is there's just nothing really happening. They're just basically using her as they will. And instead of just going all the way and just having feasting on her all together or something, or just constantly, it's like they're playing around. She's looking at them. Oh, please don't, bam. Then, oh, please don't, bam. You can't run away. You can't escape. Just drawing her into despair. But she's not in as much despair as you think she'd be in at this point. But by the end of this series, as long as she doesn't, fall in love with him or some bull crap like that, I don't know. That's why I'm holding off of saying don't watch it or do watch it. I'm going to watch the whole series eventually and see how it turns out. Because in the end, something interesting could happen. I doubt it'll be like a top anime anywhere or any stretch of the imagination. But it could be average. It could be okay. Now, for those that saying it's just terrible because of what it is, I understand where you're coming from. But for the situation she's put in, it's logical. So, like I said before, since it is logical, I can't just hate on it that much yet. But the story is progressing very slowly. Nothing's really going on. Maybe a few seconds of plot development per episode, and you got to catch them, because if you blink, you missed it. The first episode, there was maybe 2 scenes, but not really the scenes, just a few seconds in the scene. So I'm looking at it like I can see a plot developing, but it's developing slowly for a short series. Makes no sense. Hopefully it'll pick up and you'll be able to, oh, okay, that's what was going on. That's who that was. That's why that happened. But like I said, I'll hold off judgment since there's only like 4 episodes in so far. To the end of the series, hopefully it'll pick up. Hopefully it'll make sense and you'll understand why whoever she trusted will put her in this situation when they seemingly knew what was going on there. So until that day comes, I'll just have to wait and see. And I suggest you do the same. Although if you hate it, just stop watching it. Don't watch anime you hate unless you come to the end of it and then be like, oh, okay, watch it to the end. But don't just watch one episode, say you hate it, and then keep talking about it. Watch the beginning and the end, see if you want to see the middle. But as far for me, Diabolik Lovers, I don't like it right now. I can say, honestly, like right now, the way the story is, like I said, I don't like it. But I don't just outright hate it, because I can see a plot that seems interesting. Like 2 seconds worth every episode. So if you add that up, this episode 4, we haven't got a minute yet. Hopefully by the end of the series, you'll get that minute. Hopefully they'll give you episodes with plot development, story development, interesting things happening, some more development. But for right now, nothing's happening. The story is boring based off of how it's being portrayed, even though it's something that, like I said, could be interesting. All in all, I'm holding off my judgment until later. That's what I think of Diabolik Lovers at this time. Yeah. So if you've been watching Diabolik Lovers, go ahead and comment below and let me know what you think's going on, what you think's going to happen, and if you like the story or not. That's my initial opinions of this series so far. I'll be sure to put up a full review when the series has completed. But for right now, that's just what I think. I'm Sokovi. Goodbye, y'all.